morning Year 4, it's Mrs Cafrello here with your literacy lesson for Tuesday the 19th of January. Okay, so what I want you to do is get your literacy book, write today's date up at the top line, Tuesday the 19th of January 2021. Miss a line and your learning objective today is to justify arguments. Then I want you to miss another line and do the subheading SPAG for you to do your SPAG starter here this morning. So pause the video and do that now. So today in SPAG we're going to be looking at pronouns. Okay, we had a look at these last half term, so see if you can remember some examples of some pronouns. Pronouns take the place of nouns in a sentence. See if that helps jog your memory. See if you can think of some pronouns. Okay, here's some examples. So some examples of pronouns: my, your, his, he, their, hers, they, or we. So let's have a look at a sentence. So this sentence says, Abdul was going to visit the zoo. Abdul was very excited because Abdul's mum has said that Abdul and his mum will see lions. Think about which nouns in this sentence that we can take out and change into pronouns. Have a little think. Okay, so this sentence is about Abdul going to the zoo. So the first sentence introduces it. Abdul was going to visit the zoo. So that's okay. But instead of repeating his name in every sentence lots of times, we can change them into pronouns. So this one we can change to say he. Can you spot any others that we could change? Abdul was going to visit the zoo. He was very excited because, what could we say here? Okay, good, because his mum has said that Abdul and his mum will see lions. Instead of repeating this again, could we say? What pronoun could we use instead of saying Abdul and his mum? Good, we could say they. So let's read the sentence again. Abdul was going to visit the zoo. He was very excited because his mum has said that they will see lions. And the sentence flows much more easier instead of how it was written the first time. Abdul was going to visit the zoo. Abdul was very excited because Abdul's mum has said that Abdul and his mum will see lions. Okay, so can you see how much difference using the pronouns makes to the sentence? It's your turn now. So in your book, I want you to choose mild, spicy or hot, and you're going to change the underlined words into pronouns. So mild says, Amina wanted to go look at the monkeys. What pronoun could you use instead of Amina? Mild says, Jack and Charlotte had a great day at the zoo. What pronoun could you use instead of saying Jack and Charlotte? Hot says, Rehan watched the lions for over an hour because lions are Rehan's favourite animals. What pronoun could you use instead of lions and Rehan's? Get your pencil and in your book I want you to have a go at doing task 1. So pause the video now and have a go at putting pronouns into these sentences. Okay, let's have a look and see how we've got on. So for mild, instead of saying Amina, we could say she. She wanted to go look at the monkeys. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. For spicy, instead of saying Jack and Charlotte, we could say they, because it's both of them. There's two people. They had a great day at the zoo. Give yourself a tick if you got that right. For hot, there's two pronouns to put in. So the first one, Rayhan watched the lions for over an hour because they are his favourite animals. Well done if you got that right. Give yourself a tick. So now your book should look like this, with the date and learning objective up at the top, the SPAG subheading, and then your task 1 SPAG. Underline the pronouns that you've put in and give yourself a tick if you've got that right. Then for task 2, it's your turn now to think of a pronoun to put in the blanks. So fill in the blanks with a pronoun so that the sentence makes sense. Mild says, the zoo was close to blank house. What pronoun could go here? Remember, there could be more than one. Spicy says, that was a great day, Jamal said to blank mum. What pronoun could you put here? Hot says, Jake and Adam were disappointed because blank trip to the zoo was rescheduled. What pronoun could you put here? So pause the video. In your book, I want you to write task 2, mild, spicy or hot, and write out the sentence including a pronoun. Okay, let's have a look then and see how we've done. So mild, the zoo was close to, you could have his. You could also have her or their house, okay? Her or their. So the zoo was close to his house, the zoo was close to her house, or the zoo was close to their house. Spicy then, that was a great day, Jamal said to. You think about what it would be? We could have his. That was a great day, Jamal said to his mum. Hot, Jake and Adam were disappointed because their trip to the zoo was rescheduled. So give yourself a tick if you've got those right. This is how your book should look now. So again, underlining the pronouns and give yourself a tick if you've got those right. Well done, guys. So as you know, we're going to be looking at writing our own campaigns this term for animals being kept in captivity. So yesterday we had a look at some zookeepers and what sort of questions we could ask the zookeepers to make up our mind of how we're going to decide to do our campaign. And today we're going to be looking at justifying the arguments for how we've decided to do our campaign. Okay, so what we're not going to do is be cross and mean and say nasty things about anybody else's opinions, because just like we discuss in PSHE, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. We're going to look at justifying arguments in a civil, friendly way. So like these two children here are having a discussion and justifying their arguments. So they're going to think about their opinion and what that means to them. So you might feel really strongly that it's a really good idea to keep animals in zoos. They get lots of health care, they get lots of qualified zookeepers looking after them, they've got lots of visitors going to see them. So you might strongly think that that is the best place for animals to be. But you need reasons for those arguments and opinions. You need to think about why you think that. And that's what we're going to be looking at today, justifying those opinions that you've got. So this slide is looking at animals in captivity, okay? So you can see here the animals in their cages and the zookeepers that look after and care for them. Okay, so if you think that animals should be kept in captivity in a zoo, then I want you to write this header in your book, and I want you to decide some pros and cons. That means some positives about it, but also consider, are there any negatives? So for example, a positive thing of keeping animals in captivity could be that they get medical care from qualified zookeepers. Okay, and that's going to keep them healthy. Another pro could be that they're well fed, they don't have to look for their own food. Okay. Cons could be, so something negative, something like they're kept in cages, okay? So they might not have enough space like they would in the wild. They'd have much more space to roam and explore. But then again, if you think that animals should be kept in the wild, so here's some photos of animals in their natural habitat, going exploring, hunting for their own food, okay? Can anybody think of any positives of why animals should be left in the wild? Or, for that case, any negatives? Have a little think, see if you can come up with any. I think the biggest positive of animals being in the wild are that they can stay with their families, okay? They're not taken away from their families to be in zoos. I think that's a really big positive, okay? One of the negatives could be that they have to find their own food. Some animals will enjoy that, and that's part of their nature, hunting for food, just like these lions are doing here, okay? But in a zoo, the zookeepers would make sure that they were getting fed every day, healthy food, but in the wild, they would have to hunt for their own food. So you're going to decide now how you are going to write your campaign. Do you think animals should be kept in captivity? Or do you think animals should stay in the wild? Think about what you're going to choose, but also think about why you are going to choose that. What has made you come to that decision? How will you justify your argument? Okay, what reasons do you have for having that opinion? Why do you feel this way? Think back on all the lessons that we've already done. What has made you come to that decision? And what are the pros and cons? What are the positives and negatives of what you have decided to do your campaign about? Here are some sentence starters to help you. So you could pause the video now, have a look at the sentence starters, and then start having a think about what you're going to write about today. So I think animals should be either kept in captivity or left in the wild. I feel this way because I am concerned about. In my opinion, I feel confident that I would like to know more about. So use the sentence starters to help you with your writing today. So on your worksheet that you have in your pack, there are the mild, spicy and hot options. So you're going to choose one today. If you were doing mild, I want you to write this table into your book, and it's going to say pros and cons. And I want you to give me at least 3 of each, so 3 positives and 3 negatives. And then you're going to copy out this, filling in the blanks. Spicy, you're going to do the same with the pros and cons, but give me 5. And then there's some sentence starters to help with your writing. Hot, you're going to do the same as spicy. Try and do at least 6 pros and 6 cons. And remember to justify why. Think about these questions that you can answer in your writing. So here is an example of what your book will look like today. If you get to the challenge, I want you to write a few sentences about what you think could be done to make animals' lives better. Okay, so you can pause the video now and good luck with your writing.